Bound community, I'm back to do a new installment of top rated records from my vinyl collection. And it's been a while since I did this. I actually did the next list just a couple of days after the last one. But I haven't really had the time to do a video, so I thought of like just shooting one right from the hip. I thought of doing some research, but it would take too much time, so I'm just gonna show the stuff and really just make a video and get it out there. And please comment if you have any comments, but in my opinion these are all 5 rated. I mean the top, the cream of the crap in my collection. I'm gonna start with jazz, but I'm also gonna show prog, psych, Swedish prog, and pop and rock and stuff like that. But let's start with the jazz, and this is, in my opinion, a 5-star record. Grant Green's Idle Moments. I should know the date, 1963, but this is the ultimate sort of like Sunday morning kind of record, and Grant Green's guitar playing is just fantastic. But you also have Joe Henderson on tenor sax, Bobby Hutcherson, Duke Pearson, Bobby Cranshaw, and Al Hewood. Don't know that guy, but and with the cover artwork, I mean, you can't go wrong with Blue Note, can you? So the next one, and this was a lucky find. Some of you old VC members remember when I got this, but L'Estance de Sophie, maybe. Band sonore original du film L'Estance à Sophie. Art Ensemble of Chicago, 1970, if I'm not mistaken, with the fabulous and very famous sort of free jazz, sort of funk song, Team the Yo-Yo. This is many people's favorite of the Art Ensemble of Chicago. It's not only my favorite of that band, but also one of the best jazz records I have in my collection, and in my opinion a definite 5-star record. And I was so lucky to find this. I found it at a record fair for $8. This is a near mint original first French press. I'll show you the label there. So I was super lucky. Obviously the guy with just one crate of jazz records had no idea what he had. So I was super lucky. Did I know that it was a valuable record when I bought it? No, I didn't. Did I know that it was as good as it was? No, I didn't. I saw it. I didn't have any Art Ensemble of Chicago, and I knew about the group, so I thought, like, for $8 I'll take a chance on this one. So I went home, and when I was going to log it on Discogs, my mind was just blown because it's a very valuable record. I actually sent a message, I think, to Anders and asked him, and I think I also sent a message to one of the great stores in Stockholm that sells jazz, just to verify that it was a first press, because it was in such a nice condition so that I thought it was a bootleg. And they said that they don't know of any bootlegs been made of that record, but it all turned out to be a first press. Now this one it's been a while since I played this, so I can't really tell you how it sounds more than that it's a free jazz record, and I imagine that it sounds very energetic. But I've logged it as a 5-star record, so I have to rely on my opinion from when I played it the last time. This is the Albert Mangeldorf Quintet in Asia, now just Ram Wong, and I think there's been reissues that states it's only called Ram Wong, but it's a trifold record, and there's the label there. It's obviously a repress, because it's not a if it was an original press, it would be in fantastic condition, but it's unfortunately it's not. It's not super duper mega super expensive, but it's still an expensive record. Yes, great record. have to spin that. And this is, I bought this almost a year ago now, so fairly new to the collection, but highly recommended to all of you in the jazz sort of scene. That's not the right word. Schizo by Bernt Egerblahd Trio. This is a Swedish jazz record, very sort of mellow, has its moments of going out there, but still a very mellow sort of standard jazz record. But everything about it is just damn right. Highly recommended. I bought it on me and my wife's honeymoon, so that's one record I'm never gonna sell. So moving on to the Swedish prog, and I think that this is a great kind of segue between the two genres, because this is obviously also jazz, but I keep it in my Swedish prog collection. And in my opinion, a 5-star record is Pop Workshop Volume 1 with Włodek Golgowski, Ola Brunkert, Ed Tigpen, Janne Schaffer, some other Polish guy that I won't slaughter, and Steve Brolund and Amando Jar, and you have all the guys here in green. This is a fusion record all the way through, very sought after, and on the beautiful Grammofonverket label. A lot of people say that they like the first Pop Workshop the best, and I think I have to agree. I think that this is a better and more solid record. It's a classic sort of Scandinavian fusion record from that time period, but I had to include number 2 also. It's almost as good, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tony Williams, and just having Tony Williams instead of Ed Tigpen playing drums is fantastic. He's really on fire on this one. You also have Mads Winding, Janne Schaffer again, and the 2 Polish guys with Włodek Golgowski. And there's the Grammofonverket, but on the light blue sort of label. And what a record cover this is by Arnold. Really great LP. I have to say that the cover is better than the music, but the music is still fantastic. So that was Swedish prog. Another Swedish prog record that, in my opinion, is a 5-star record, and I know that that's not everyone's opinion, is Jola Rota by Joakim Skogsberg. This is also a kind of a freakish kind of folk prog record or psych record from 71. It was released first on the famous Gump label, which some of you know, and reissued on Subliminal Sounds. I think that this was the first one from the Gump series that they released, along with Kvartetten som Sprängde, which also was a early one that they reissued. I wish I had a original press of this, because it really deserves to be in the collection as an original. Now this is chanting and moaning and humming. He's not singing, he's really just doodling along. But awesome players that plays very minimalistic on it. Sounds like nothing else I've really heard. And it's produced by Pugh Rogefeldt, which were, you know, with Jodå Ärde, that famous record that, I don't know if it was Jay Dilla or Modest Mouse maybe that sampled. Okay, so the next one and the last one in the Swedish prog, that in my opinion is a 5-star record, and can't get any more weird and beautiful than this. This is Älgarnas Trädgård with Framtiden är ett svävande skepp förankrat i forntiden. Subliminal Sound once again did a reissue with 2 LPs of this one, and I couldn't sit by and see this being reissued without, I won't pull it out, without buying it. So this is my sort of to-go-to copy. but I actually own a original press of that also. And this is krautrock from Sweden. Yeah, let's say it's krautrock from Sweden. My original press has seen better days, but the record is in great condition. But yeah, it's nice to have a original press of this. There's the inner sleeve there on Silence Records. Yes, in my humble opinion, a 5-star record. I know once again that this is not everyone's favorite in the Swedish prog and psych catalog, but in my opinion, groundbreaking, and so almost ahead of its time, at least here in Sweden. I know that a lot of other artists were in movements that did similar things, you know, spaced out, sort of long ass, jammy, minimalistic, sort of almost electronic work, especially in Germany. But being here in Sweden, they only released one record. It's just a full-blown orchestra doing this. It's a very, very cool record. So I highly recommend to check out at least Älgarnas Trädgård or the Moose's Garden in English. So moving along to the more pop rock oriented stuff, at least that's how I file these in the collection. But also, in my opinion, a 5-star record. Don't think it needs any introduction. I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight by Richard and Linda Thompson, 1973, 4 on Island Records reissue, early reissue, like that sort of blue label there. I mean, this is a fantastic record, and this can't be in anyone's collection without the sister or big brother record. No, little sister record, because it came afterwards, 10 years after almost. Shut Out the Lights, which is as good in my opinion. This one also don't need an introduction, but a 5-star record. I mean, how can you not love Forever Changes, 1968 maybe, 67. And I was super happy to get a little bit of I had a Rhino reissue that sounded great, but I wanted a early press of this iconic classic record, so I was happy to score that not too long ago. Maybe not a 5-star record, maybe not, but I included it because everyone should own a copy of this, and it's not a expensive record at all, but it's, yeah, so damn good. John Phillips, I think it's self-titled, yeah. And with on drums Hal Blaine, so I think it's the Wrecking Crew playing on this one. John Phillips were in Mamas and the Papas, and there's been a lot of controversy surrounding him about when he died. His daughter came out and accused him for sexual abuse and stuff like that, which the rest of the family has rejected. But yeah, a lot of controversy, as I said. The music is fantastic, very sort of almost Laurel Canyon-esque, very druggy in its sound, like the sort of the hippie 69 era sort of sound. And another 5-star record in my opinion is Buckingham and Nix. This is such a good record and good sounding record. This is my to-go-to record when I'm checking out new equipment. I had a friend over who bought new speakers, and I had them here because he bought the speakers, but he's watching my videos also, but he didn't have a place for it at home. So he had his speakers at my house for maybe a month. So he took them to another friend of his to compare it with his speakers. But we had a session where we sat down and listen to the speakers and compare them to my speakers. And this was one that I played. I don't know if I played it when he was here, but I played it at least. It's such a good record, very deep grooves, mastered by Robert Ludwig in 1972, maybe 75, something like that. Just the perfect sort of sound. Okay, so rounding it off with the sort of not Swedish prog, but the prog and psych section, and I have 3 records because I wanted to show you 4, but I didn't find one of them. So here we go. I show this at least once a year to everyone, and this is right there, #1 of my want list. If I own original first press of this, I can stop collecting records. But Wil Malone's self-titled record from 1970 on Morgan Bluetown is the perfect record. There's not a bad song, not a bad moment. His fragile voice is just perfect, and the orchestration and all the musicians, it's just, for me, such a perfect record. Great cover artwork, and it's on a shitty kind of baby vomit blue ass color of the record. But as we all know, this fetches $2,000 maybe, or euro 3,000 maybe, even if it's in really good condition. So I'll never own that, probably, at least, probably. But that would be great. One of the best records ever recorded, in my opinion. Just such a great record. And my favorite record of Frank Zappa, and a lot of other people's favorite record by Zappa, Hot Rats, 5-star record, all day long, all day long. Not a bad moment on this. Very, very much instrumental, except for one song, Will the Pimp, I think, which has Captain Beefheart's voice over it. Fantastic. But yeah, my favorite Zappa. I mean, there's a bunch that you can pick, and I think I had maybe 4 or 5 Zappa records that I choose to rate as 5-star records. But this is, among those records, this is my favorite. If I'm playing one Zappa record, it's this. And if I could only keep one Zappa record, it would probably be that one. And the last one, not too long ago I showed this, but SRC Psych from 69, 68. Ah, sorry. This is also a 5-star record. It's just so good from start to finish. Not a bad moment, not a bad song on it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And there we go. There's the next video for you all. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave comments if you agree or do not agree. And if you have any tips or recommendations with stuff that you don't think I've heard that reminds you of these records, that you also think is 5-star material, that's important. And I'll talk to you soon.